Good morning, America. I'm Charles Gibson.
I'm Diane Sawyer, and it's Tuesday, September 11th, 2001.
It is lunchtime in London, 5 a.m. in Los Angeles, and 8 a.m. here in New York, live from the CNN Financial News headquarters.
It is beautiful outside, perfect September day with lots of sunshine. Oh, would you look at Washington, huh? I'm going outside today.
Other than that, it's kind of quiet around the country. We like quiet. It's quiet. It's too quiet.
Is that American 11 trying to call?
We have some planes. Just stay quiet and you'll be okay. We're turning to the airport.
The pilot, everyone's been stabbed. They're in the back of the airplane. They're not. Oh, the hijackers are in the cockpit.
Oh, no.
Okay, we just lost connection.
This is CNN breaking news.
This just in, you are looking at obviously a very disturbing live shot there. That is the World Trade Center, and we have unconfirmed reports this morning that a plane has crashed into one of the towers of the World Trade Center.
There is a major incident in Lower Manhattan.
We just got a report in that there's been some sort of explosion at the World Trade Center in New York City.
Apparently, a plane has just crashed into the World Trade Center.
We understand that a plane has crashed into the World Trade Center.
We have serious news of a major possible air crash in the United States.
An incredible plane crash into the World Trade Center.
That happened within the last few moments.
Just a few moments ago, something believed to be a plane crashed into the South Tower of the World Trade Center. We have no idea what it was. It was a tremendous boom.
A gigantic sonic boom. The air is filled with hundreds of thousands of pieces of paper that are just sort of floating like confetti.
Stuff just started falling, like bricks and paper and everything. When I looked over, there was this guy that was on fire. He was like screaming, and I just told him to roll, and he said he can't.
He caught fire as a result of the falling debris?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what hit the World Trade Center? We're getting reports that an airplane hit the building.
I hear a plane, then all of a sudden I saw it go right into the World Trade Center.
So you saw a plane crash into the side of the World Trade Center?
Yes, sir.
How big, can you tell us? Give us an idea.
It would be hard to imagine that a small plane could create that kind of hole in a building like the World Trade Center.
These buildings are almost a city block size building.
This is a large plane.
You're talking about a large passenger commercial jet.
Large passenger commercial jet.
The Associated Press is now reporting that it was an aircraft.
Back in the 40s, a plane hit the Empire State Building. In the 60s, a helicopter crashed on the top of what was the Pan Am building, now the MetLife building.
Remember, it is shortly before 9 o'clock East Coast time, so we suspect there would have been a great many people in the building and presumably on those top floors as well.
There is considerable and truly terrifying damage on some of those floors at the top.
More than 40,000 people work there, and on any given day, more than 100,000 business and leisure visitors come to the World Trade Center.
All pilots who fly in this area know very well where the World Trade Center is located.
Whenever people for Newark, Kennedy, or LaGuardia, when those planes are put into rotation as they're waiting for landing, they circle around this area, which is right near the Statue of Liberty.
Wind speeds at this point, not tremendous at all. Flying conditions, near perfect.
As you can see, this is a clear blue sky day in Manhattan. If this was an accident, it would be a needle in a haystack kind of accident.
I'm afraid we've got a tragedy on our hands.
This is horrible.
Have you seen any evidence, Elliot, of people being taken out of the building? You say that emergency vehicles are there, understandably so, but of course the major concern is human loss.
Oh my God, another plane has just hit. Oh, another one just hit.
Oh my God.
My God.
Just flew directly over my building.
Oh my goodness.
Oh God.
There's another one.
There was another one.
Running away very, very quickly. There are more explosions further down the building.
Explosion.
The building's exploding right now. You got people running up the street. Everybody's panicking.
Clearly the thing is out of control.
One of our producers said perhaps a second plane was involved.
You saw a plane?
Yes, I just saw a plane go into the building.
That looks like a second plane.
It could be a 727 right there, maybe even bigger.
This one into the East Tower.
Yes. I wonder if there are air traffic control problems.
Another passenger plane hitting the World Trade Center. These pictures are frightening indeed.
This is so shocking, of course, to everybody watching.
What we've just seen is about the most shocking videotape I've ever seen.
What are the odds of two separate planes hitting both towers?
And now you have to move from talk about a possible accident to talk about something deliberate.
This has to be deliberate, folks.
Why do you say that was definitely on purpose?
Because it just flew straight into it. It literally flew itself into World Trade Center.
I think we have a terrorist act of proportions that we cannot begin to imagine at this juncture.
Oh, my God.
My goodness.
Oh, this is terrifying. Awful.
That is a very hard thing to watch.
To watch powerless is a horror.
What we have been fearing for the longest time here apparently has come to pass.
President Bush has been informed of this incredible tragedy happening in New York.
ABC's Peter Jennings is at the anchor desk and is now in position.
There is chaos in New York at the moment. There is confusion in Washington. The FBI is already investigating reports that a plane was actually hijacked.
Early reports are that at least one of those planes was a hijacked American Airlines plane en route from Boston to Los Angeles.
The crash of these two aircraft into the towers of the World Trade Center in New York appear to be an act of terrorism.
We want to also remind people that the World Trade Center bombing that took place on February 26th back in 1993, the product of a terrorist attack, the result of a terrorist attack that killed 6 people and injured more than 1,000.
And the explosion happened in a garage in the basement. This was a direct hit on the midsection or upper section of the tower, so the potential for injuries and death much larger. Of course, also some people on the planes.
We have no idea what the evacuation procedure is in the building.
When the impact hit the first tower, you would hope that people who were in the second tower were beginning to evacuate.
At this time, all elevators are out in both towers, according to the rescue workers on the scene.
And people will have a long, horrendous, terrifying walk down in a darkened building.
Can you characterize the scene down there right now for us?
Thousands of people that have been running from inside these buildings, and they say there was just pandemonium. There was no warning, no alarms, no anything. Everyone just raced from their desks, ran downstairs, and now there's a steady stream of folks running away from the building.
The person who answered the phone on the trading floor at interdealer broker Cantor Fitzgerald, located near the top of the World Trade Center, said, "We're blanking dying," when asked what was happening, and hung up. There was screaming and yelling in the background, and a follow-up call was not answered.
I gather the city is ordering a major evacuation from a number of public buildings and a number of these very high-profile targets.
They're going into what they call an Archangel operation, which is a code name for essentially a major lockdown of the city, evacuating the United Nations building, the municipal building, City Hall, Gracie Mansion, which is the mayor's residence.
David Gregory is now on the phone.
Yes, Katie, the president is about to begin an education event, which is obviously being canceled. He was made aware en route from his hotel to this school here in Sarasota, where he was going to talk about education. He'll make a statement, then we're told by White House officials that he will quickly depart for Washington.
David, we're going to have to cut you off. President Bush is speaking.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a difficult moment for America. I unfortunately will be going back to Washington after my remarks. Secretary of Rod Pace and Lieutenant Governor will take the podium and discuss education. I do want to thank the folks here at Booker Elementary School for their hospitality. Today we've had a national tragedy. 2 airplanes have crashed into the World Trade Center in an apparent terrorist attack on our country. I have spoken to the Vice President, to the Governor of New York, to the Director of the FBI, and have ordered that the full resources of the federal government go to help the victims and their families, and to conduct a full-scale investigation to hunt down and to find those folks who committed this act. Terrorism against our nation will not stand. And now, if you join me in a moment of silence.